This recipe should come with a hazard warning. Hi everyone, it's Tash and welcome to another recipe video. And today we are making honeycomb, also known as Cinder Toffee and for some reason Hokey Pokey, because apparently in England we like to give things bizarre names. And all it is caramelised sugar that's been foamed up with some bicarbonate of soda. Easy. And it is really easy, it only takes 3 ingredients. You've got syrup, sugar and the bicarb of soda. This is what makes it foam up. You will need a sugar thermometer for this, but don't panic, it is super simple to do. All you have to do is make sure you don't touch the boiling hot sugar because you're going to get burned, and hot sugar sticks, so you're going to keep getting burned by it for a while, so do not touch. I've only actually made this one time, and I think I was in my early teens at that point. It was one of the first things I ever made in the kitchen myself. It was super exciting. I don't know why I've never made it again, it's so simple to make. There are some recipes out there that don't use a thermometer and they just say just eyeball the colour, but to be safe, use a thermometer, then you'll know exactly when it's the right setting point, because sugar has different setting points. It has, I don't know what the first stage is called, the one where it doesn't set, then it has soft crack stage or soft ball stage, and that's what you want for things like fudge and soft toffees, that's when it sets chewy. And then there is hard ball or hard crack stage where you want hard candies, and this is what we want for our Cinder Toffee. But if you just go by eye and by colour, then you risk it either not setting at all or setting to a really chewy, gooey sort of thing, which is fine, but that's not what we're aiming for today. We want a nice brittle crack. So the top setting point for hard crack stage is 150 degrees C. You have a couple of degrees leeway, so don't panic about setting it exactly. Just don't go too over because then you'll risk burning, but I'll explain that while I make it. But the most important thing is don't panic. It's not hard, don't worry, just don't touch the sugar. Anyway, let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. Now just before we start, I have a lined 8 by 8 inch baking tin, which I've greased, lined with non-stick baking paper and then greased again with oil because I really don't want this to stick. And I do have a sugar thermometer. Now there will be some recipes that will just say, oh, go by colour, but that's kind of inaccurate and then it won't be guaranteed to set, so make sure you do use a thermometer for this one. Now here I have 225 grams of golden syrup, which I have already measured out in the pan because measuring out golden syrup is sticky stuff, so I just put the pan on my scale and then put the golden syrup straight in the pan to measure it there. I'm going to turn the heat on until it's about a low to medium heat, we don't want it too hot just yet. And we're going to add 200 grams of caster sugar. I'm going to give it a little stir just to get things going. Some people don't stir at all, but I always find that I end up burning it that way, so do give it a little bit of a stir if you want to. Be very careful, by the way, this is hot sugar you're dealing with. It sticks like glue, and hot stuff that sticks to your skin like glue is never fun. So do not touch this with your bare hands. Now it's all going to melt together, I am going to pop my sugar thermometer in. Careful not to touch anything because remember it's hot. And make sure that the very bottom of your thermometer doesn't make contact with the bottom of the pan. You just want to be measuring the temperature of the sugar, remember? And I'm just going to leave the sugar to melt a bit into the syrup. Then we're going to turn the heat up a bit until it reaches 150 degrees C, which is also called hard crack stage when they're talking about melting sugar. And that is when the sugar is going to set like hard candy. As you can see, we're not quite there yet, but we're slowly but surely rising. Going slow is better than fast, because if you go too fast you'll burn it. Oh, and make sure you're using a heat-proof spatula or spoon, by the way. You can see she's already starting to bubble a bit. And if you give it a stir at this point, you might feel that all of those granules of sugar have now completely dissolved and it's nice and smooth, which is great, that's exactly what you want. At this stage you can choose to turn the heat up a little bit, but I'm a chicken, I don't want to burn it, so I'm going to leave it as it is and wait for the heat to gradually rise. Phew, it's properly bubbling now, that is what we want. We've used a bigger saucepan than we have ingredients on purpose, by the way. If you think this is foaming up a lot now, you wait until we add the bicarbonate of soda. Definitely use a much bigger pan than you think because it will foam up a lot. This is nothing. You can see how it's really liquidy now as well. I'm just checking on my thing, it's 125 now, so not long until 150. I'd say actually take it off the heat as soon as it hits 149 because you don't want it going over 150, but no lower than 148. So we are just past the 149 mark, edging up to 150. I'm happy with that. That gives us like 0.05 degrees leeway. So I'm going to take this off the heat now. And now we're going to work very quickly, so bear with me. So we're taking this off the heat, let the bubbles dissipate a bit and get rid of the sugar thermometer. Oh, look at that golden amber colour. And now for the magic, we have 1.5 teaspoonfuls of bicarbonate of soda. Watch this. Give it a stir and watch the magic happen. And this is why you need to use a big old saucepan, because it's gonna get big. Lovely. Give it a good old stir until it's all well incorporated. Careful not to splash. Remember, you're still working with hot sugar, so mind your hands. Make sure you get it from the bottom and it's all evenly stirred up. And then you're going to scrape all of that foamy goodness straight into your prepared pan. Again, careful your hands. Oh, it's so good. I need to resist the urge not to lick the spoon because it looks good and it smells amazing and the texture is so silky. But you do not want to lick the spoon, otherwise you're going to lose your tongue. There we go. And just leave that there. It will sink down a bit, but don't worry. As for cleaning the pan, a bit of hot water soaking in there will get rid of the sugar just fine. Don't worry, it's easy to clean. So just pop some hot water in there and let it sit. As for this bad boy, I'm going to let it cool down for an hour, 2 hours, and it's going to set by itself. It may deflate a bit in the middle, but that is okay, that is perfectly normal. See you in a bit. Also, it is totally normal that it continues to rise in the tin for a few minutes. So just trust the process and then it will sink down a little bit again, but not too much. Now that's all set, we're going to break it up, and I have covered my work surface with a bit of cling film because it can get a little bit messy. So first we're going to lift this out of the tray. In theory. There we go. Ooh, that was a lot of oil used. Now the outside looks smooth, but when we shatter it, nice! We've got the lovely honeycomb bubbly insides, and it still smells amazing. So I'm just going to continue to break this up. If you want neater shards, you can also do this with a small knife and chip it off away like that. Here we have a very nice mixture of big shards and small shards. Keep those small shards, by the way, they're great for coffee. And look at how absolutely gorgeous those bubbles are. Ah, gorgeous. You can of course also dip these in chocolate, but I'm not going to bother this time. I'm just going to take a bite straight away, so cheers! Delicious. So crunchy. Not one of you have a lot of fillings though, because once you compact all of those crunchy air holes, it does get a little bit tough and chew at the end. As with any hard candy, I even got some in my hair. That's just so satisfying though, the crunchiness of it. Like I said, I absolutely love this in coffee, and because it's so aerated, it actually dissolves quite well in iced coffees too, so I will show you that in my Friday short recipe coming up soon. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy this as it is. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you'll join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full written recipe on tashcakes.com and find me on Instagram. I am tashcakes.tastes. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more. Give this video a like if you liked it to help other people find it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular. And I'll see you guys next time. Be good, be nice, and have a good week. It really sticks your teeth together at the end. This is a good gift to give to someone if you want to shut them up.